iOS 13 is only 3 months away, and with that in mind, we've been getting a lot of concepts on what the next software update Apple release might look like. I've got another iOS 13 concept that I'd like to share with you guys, so with all that said, let's get into the video. This concept comes courtesy of Leo Vahan. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. I'm going to leave all the information to the iOS 13 concepts down below in the description. So basically, Leo posts the concept via Behance. I don't know what in the world that is called. I think it's a website or a social media outlet. He basically envisions what iOS 13 could look like, and he gathered all the rumors that we've been getting so far about iOS 11 through iOS 12, because these features that I'm going to be showing you guys are features that have been rumored to come to iOS since iOS 11. So the first concept here is multi-user support for iOS 13. It basically allows another person to take your iOS device and sign into their own account and have access to their own apps, their own app store, their own iCloud, their own iMessage, and everything else. We don't know how Apple might have this set up, but it will be nice if they include this in iOS 13. Android has had this for a very long time. It's been on Android devices for really long. Before I switched over to iOS, my Android tablet had this. I was able to give it to my brother, and he had his own app, his own operating system all to himself without having to go into my account and look at all my apps. If iOS 13 includes multi-user support, this would make things a lot easier for people who don't want to sacrifice their information on their phone just so that way someone else can use it. They can sign into their own account, or they can even create a guest account on their device, well, your device, so that way they can have access to their own apps, their own app store, iMessage, FaceTime, or anything else that Apple allows you. And I'm pretty sure that when Apple does release this, they will be expanding it so that way it works with more apps in the future. Okay, moving on. This is a feature that we've been requesting for a very long time. A redesign to that ugly looking volume HUD. Every time you turn up the volume on your device, you always get this gigantic square that takes up most of the content on your display. It's really annoying. Leo imagines a volume HUD that is near the volume buttons on your iPhone or on your iPad. It looks less intrusive in my opinion, but I don't think Apple might do something like that. If they were to get rid of the volume HUD, it would probably be in the top right ear or left ear of the iPhone 10 or newer, or in the status bar area of the iPhone 8 and older. But if Apple did go ahead and do this with iOS 13, this would look pretty cool. What do you guys think of this redesigned volume HUD? Let me know your opinions down in the comment section below. I honestly think it's pretty cool. When I turn up the volume on my device, it will no longer look so ugly. I don't even care if it's on the iPad. I just don't want a giant block covering up all of my information I want to look at. And the bad thing about it is that I can't even tap anything when that volume HUD shows up, and I can't even dismiss it. It dismisses itself. YouTube has already found a fix to this. They put it at the top of the video player, and some other applications have done this with the volume HUD, but in basic navigation of iOS, like the music application, or in other apps like games or the App Store or any other normal application that you might be playing audio files on, that volume HUD takes up the whole screen. So this concept, if Apple does include it in iOS 13, I wouldn't mind. I would like it at the top of the screen, but if Apple did this, it would look pretty cool. All right, let's move on to the next concept. This is another annoying thing that Apple did when they released the iPhone 10 back in 2017, when they got rid of the home button and brought Face ID, the OLED display. You guys get the idea. They moved the control center in the top right corner, which makes it really hard for people with small fingers to reach into the top right corner of the screen and pull down on the control center in order to access important toggles. And this concept here, the multitasking pane as well as the control center are all merged in one. Apple did something like this back in iOS 11, and they changed it in iOS 12, which really didn't make any sense to me because I really liked it. It looked pretty cool. I can access the control center while multitasking at the same time. I honestly don't know why Apple took this away from iOS on the iPad. I really wish they would bring it back, but for those of you who don't need it there, I should at least give you an option to disable it. But we're not talking about that. We are talking about the iPhone with the multitasking pane and the control center. If Apple were to bring the control center and the multitasking pane together, it would make things a lot easier. Well, slightly easier. Let me just explain. You see, with the control center in this concept, it's at the bottom and the multitasking pane is at the top. You still have to reach your fingers up slightly past the control center in order to swipe your previously using app away, which can be really annoying. I honestly don't know what Apple might do to improve the control center and multitasking experience on the iPhone 10, 10s, 10s Max, and iPhone 10R. But whatever they do, they should make it a lot easier, because the way how they have it right now, where you have to swipe down from the right side of the screen in order to access the control center, and then swipe up and hold in order to access the multitasking pane, is pretty annoying. I really wish they would fix that. Even though I own an iPhone 8 Plus, using an iPhone 10 was really annoying. This is something that I don't see Apple doing in iOS 13, and that is mouse support for the iPad Pro. I don't know who wants a mouse support on the iPad Pro, because now you'll actually have to carry a mouse around in your bag, and it's really annoying, which is why I like the fact that iOS is only supported for a touchscreen, but for people who want extra productivity done and who wants to be really precise, whether you're video editing or doing something else, the mouse can come in handy. But for me, I edit on my iPad and all my controls are touch, so I don't need to be that precise. If I do, I just turn on VoiceOver, and I know how to use VoiceOver, and that just lands on the element that I want to use. I know how to drag and drop with VoiceOver, so not really a problem for me. But for those of you who need a mouse support so badly, I don't see Apple doing this in iOS 13. So this iOS 13 concept, I'm going to say this is a 50% chance that mouse support might be coming to the iPad Pro in iOS 13. Leo also says in his concept that iOS 13 should have W2, W1 type pairing with the iPad Pro, which is just like the AirPods, where you just open the lid and it starts pairing to your iPhone or iPad. You don't even have to go into Bluetooth, which is what I really like about the iPhone. It's pretty cool, guys. If you have a pair of AirPods, you should really go ahead and try that out. Well, you shouldn't try it out because you already know what I'm talking about. But if you don't have a pair of AirPods, you guys should go ahead and try it out for yourself. That is pretty cool. Mouse support on the iPad has been a feature that people have been requesting for a very long time. While it would be nice if Apple brought that to iOS 13, like I said, I don't see them doing that. Okay, my last concept that I want to show you guys from Leo is the ability to use your iPad as an external display from your Mac. Raise your hand if you want this in iOS 13. My hand isn't raised because I think that's kind of dumb. If anything, I want to use my Mac as an external display for my iPad, not my iPad as an external display for my Mac. It just makes much more sense. The Mac has a bigger display, especially the iMacs with their 27-inch displays. If you want to display a lot of content to a classroom, well, obviously not a large classroom, and you only have an iPad and a Mac, you can cast your iPad screen over to the Mac and get the visuals from your iPad on that larger screen. I don't think anyone would want to have their iPad used as an external display for their Mac. The Mac display is already big. Now, if you're talking about using the iPad as an external display for the Mac Pro, yeah, then I would kind of understand that. But vice versa, that's stupid, and I hope Apple doesn't do something like that. I like my idea better. Alright guys, those are all the iOS 13 concepts on this list from Leo. I don't want to pronounce his last name. What is your favorite iOS 13 concept listed in this video? Let me know your opinion down in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, let me know with a like and or dislike. I can care less. But if you did like this video and you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for all things Apple, and I will see you guys in my next video. I have been Tian Official. I will see you guys when I see you guys in my next video. Peace out.